Imagine standing inside an ancient construction site, abandoned about 3,500 years ago. Before you lies a single block of pink granite still attached to the bedrock, waiting for craftsmen who never returned. If this project had been completed, it would have become the largest obelisk ever raised in human history. More than 40 meters long, nearly 1,200 tons of pink granite. Yet, it never left the quarry. No celebration, no dedication, no triumph, only silence. For generations, people believed this was simply an abandoned monument. But archaeologists eventually realized something extraordinary. This is not the story of a failure. It is one of the most complete surviving records of how ancient Egyptian engineers quarried a monumental obelisk. Every hammer mark, every unfinished trench, every crack, every surface left untouched. Together, they preserve traces of decisions made by engineers more than 3,500 years ago. Today, we are not simply visiting a monument. We are entering the workshop itself. Welcome to PharaohLogic. Let us unlock the mystery of the unfinished obelisk. Long before the first hammer struck the granite, someone made an extraordinary decision. Not to build another monument, but to attempt the largest obelisk ever imagined. The project is generally attributed to the reign of Hatshepsut, although some aspects remain debated. To the ancient Egyptians, an obelisk was far more than a monument. It represented the first rays of the rising sun, a sacred symbol linking the earth with the divine. But why attempt something so enormous? Was it royal ambition, religious symbolism, or a political statement carved in stone? Its destination was Karnak Temple, hundreds of kilometers to the north. But before it could stand beside the temples of Luxor, it first had to be born here, in the granite quarries of Aswan. Imagine you are the chief engineer. You have one chance. Choose the wrong rock, and years of work could be lost before the monument even exists. To the naked eye, every granite outcrop looks similar, but inside, invisible fractures can hide like cracks inside glass. Look at the surface. After selecting the bedrock, surveyors did not just start digging. They marked the future obelisk directly onto the surface. Every line determined where thousands of tons of granite would remain, and where countless blows would gradually remove everything else. Now comes the great mystery. Look closely at the walls of the trench. There are no sharp chisel marks, no straight cuts, just smooth, rounded scoops in the rock. How do you carve the hardest stone without steel, without explosives, and without machines? The clue lies scattered all over the quarry floor. Round, heavy dolerite pounding stones. This is dolerite, an exceptionally tough, coarse-grained igneous rock, ideal for repeatedly pounding granite. The method relied not on complex machines, but on extraordinary human endurance. Each impact removed only tiny fragments. Almost nothing seemed to change. Yet after countless blows, a mountain slowly surrendered to human persistence. Hour after hour, day after day, month after month. Countless strikes slowly carved deep trenches. Progress was painfully slow. Every day brought only a small victory over the granite. Carving the sides was only the beginning. Now, the engineers faced their ultimate challenge. How do you separate a block weighing nearly 1,200 tons from the solid bedrock beneath it? The workers gradually excavated beneath the obelisk, creating narrow working spaces beneath the stone. The working space became even smaller. The task became even harder. Look at the bottom edge. Archaeologists are still debating the evidence. Did they use wooden wedges, expanded with water, to help separate the rock? Or did they rely entirely on relentless pounding? The stone keeps its final secret. The evidence is incomplete. The debate continues. And perhaps the quarry was never meant to reveal every answer. What is certain is this: the engineers had reached the final stage. Years of planning, thousands of hours of labor. Everything depended on that enormous piece of stone remaining intact. Then, everything changed. At some point during construction, a major fracture became apparent. Today, it is still visible, cutting across the body of the unfinished obelisk like a permanent scar. No inscription tells us the exact moment it happened. No ancient document describes the reaction of the engineers, but the stone itself preserves the evidence. The fracture appears to have made completion and transport far more risky. Even if it could be completed, even if it could be transported, such a flaw would have posed an unacceptable risk during the journey. The project stopped. The pounding stones fell silent. Work came to an end. The unfinished obelisk remained exactly where it was born. Ironically, failure became one of archaeology's greatest discoveries. Had the obelisk been completed, almost all traces of its construction would have disappeared forever. Instead, the quarry preserved everything: tool marks, working trenches, partially finished surfaces, even traces of the decisions made by the engineers. Few archaeological sites allow us to reconstruct an engineering process step by step. This quarry is one of them, not through imagination, but through physical evidence still visible today. Today, the quarry serves as an open-air laboratory where archaeology and engineering meet. It is easy to admire the stone. It is harder to imagine the people behind it: surveyors, stone masons, foremen, master engineers. Thousands of skilled workers spent months, perhaps years, working beneath the burning sun, not knowing that history would remember their project only because it failed. Most of their names are lost forever. Their work is not. Every mark they left behind became evidence for future generations. Their greatest success was never completed, yet their unfinished work became their greatest legacy. The unfinished obelisk does not require mysterious technology to explain its existence. It demonstrates extraordinary human ambition, planning, discipline, and engineering. It reminds us that even the greatest civilizations faced unexpected problems. Nature does not negotiate, even with empires. Today, visitors come to Aswan in search of answers. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not why the project failed, but how close they came to succeeding. The unfinished obelisk never reached Karnak, yet it still stands as one of the world's most important archaeological windows into ancient Egyptian engineering practices. This was PharaohLogic Origins. Thank you for watching. Join us in the next mystery.